Good morning, America. Fire and ice. The harrowing escape stories from families fleeing a fast-moving wildfire outside Los Angeles. Driven by hurricane-force wind gusts, at least 130 homes destroyed. Thousands of people under evacuation orders. The update from firefighters this morning. The same storm system blamed for the massive blizzard-like conditions slamming New Mexico and Colorado, with some areas seeing record snowfall. Samara tracking it all.
Alleged assassination plot. 3 men charged with murder for hire and what prosecutors say was an attempt by Iran to kill Donald Trump. Why authorities say the country was out for revenge.
Trump transition kicking into high gear. The president-elect diving into calls with foreign leaders, including Ukraine's President Zelensky. Billionaire Elon Musk on the phone, adding his 2 cents.
Back in the spotlight, Princess Kate set to make her first appearance at major ceremonies since finishing chemotherapy treatments. Can we expect to see more of her at future events? A royal expert joins us this morning.
High-stakes matchup. The busy weekend in college football. Alabama and LSU looking to keep their playoff dreams alive. ESPN's Desmond Howard weighs in on the games to watch.
And giddy up for a Grammy nomination.
This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold'em.
Beyoncé doing what no artist has done before. Will Cowboy Carter lasso more wins?
Yeah, 360. When you're in the mirror, do you like what you see?
They not like us. They not like us.
The look at the competition and the artists in other categories looking for Grammy glory.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good Saturday morning, America. Thank you for starting your weekend with us. A very busy morning ahead with major news, including an apparent effort by China to hack cell phones of high-profile Americans. The latest on what ABC News sources are telling us this morning, just ahead.
Plus, authorities across the country are investigating racist text messages sent following the election. Residents in more than a dozen states receiving them. New York's Attorney General saying some of the messages were targeting children.
But we begin here with the wild weather across the country, including that early season snowstorm with blizzard conditions in Colorado and New Mexico, and that massive wildfire raging in Southern California. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is joining us from Camarillo, California with the latest. Jacqueline, good morning.
Well, good morning. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Many homeowners are returning to see there is nothing left. We are standing in front of what used to be a garage, and back right over there, that is a melted refrigerator, just showing how hot this thing burned. Now, firefighters are working around the clock to get this fire under control. This morning, the ferocious mountain fire scorching Ventura County. Flames spreading across more than 20,000 acres. Nearly 3,000 firefighters battling the blaze, with 14% contained.
I'm not built for this at all. I was crying. It was pathetic.
More than 200 structures charred beyond recognition.
I can't believe it's gone. Like, I don't even know what to say right now. This is like surreal. I mean, I know we live in a fire danger area, but this is not, it came out of nowhere. It was so fast.
More than 14,000 residents remain under evacuation orders and at least 6 people injured. Many homeowners discovering the majority of their Camarillo Heights neighborhood incinerated.
That's like my childhood home. It's where we got married.
Officials say it only takes one ember and a wind gust for a fire to tear through and destroy one home while leaving another one completely untouched. Firefighters warning the threat is not over.
Make sure your car is full of gas and, ready to go at a moment's notice, because fire is just a fact of life here.
The hurricane-force Santa Ana winds seen as further fuel for these wildfires as extreme weather slams the west. In Colorado, a state of emergency is in effect as more than 2 feet of snow has fallen, blanketing cities like Denver and Colorado Springs. While in New Mexico, up to 40 inches of snow, causing widespread power outages, closing roads and shutting down schools as officials call a storm this early in the season unprecedented. And firefighters are taking advantage of the light wind conditions to try to contain this fire. Moderate Santa Ana winds are expected to pick up next week. Janae.
Oh, that is not good news to hear, Jacqueline. Thank you. Now let's bring in meteorologist Samara Theodore. And Samara, it's not just the West Coast that is dealing with the wildfires. It is dry as a bone out here, too.
Listen, Janae, I mean, look at this video, you guys. You can actually see the helicopter dumping water. And this is something we're accustomed to seeing in California. But that's the New York skyline. Inglewood Cliffs, New Jersey, dealing with the wildfire. Also across the GW Bridge, Brooklyn, New York, Prospect Park had a brief brush fire. Not only there, but in Reading, Pennsylvania, you can see a line of fire behind the cemetery. I went to high school near there. That's the pagoda, and that's the view from the pagoda of the actual wildfire. Why is this happening on the East Coast? Well, we have an exceptional drought in places like Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia. In fact, southern New Jersey hasn't seen the likes of an extreme drought in over 22 years. The fire danger persists as we head through this afternoon. Low relative humidity down to 25%, with winds gusting upwards of 20 miles per hour. Some areas seeing wind gusts as high as 35 miles per hour. So keep in mind that today throughout the Northeast, we do have an elevated fire danger. Gio?
All right, and we can smell that smoke all over New York City. Samara, thank you so much. Turning now to the new president-elect. This morning, we are learning more about an alleged Iranian plot to assassinate President Trump before the election. ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky has the latest now.
This morning, the new Iranian revenge plot to kill Donald Trump in the weeks before he was elected as the 47th president. The FBI says Iran's elite Revolutionary Guard Corps assigned one of the plotters in mid to late September to focus on surveilling and ultimately assassinating former President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. On October 7th, court records say the operative, Farhad Shakiri, was told to provide a plan within 7 days to kill Trump, and if he couldn't, to wait until after the election, because the Iranians assessed that Trump would lose the election, and afterward it would be easier to assassinate him. Federal prosecutors say Iran has been determined to avenge the death of Revolutionary Guard General Qasem Soleimani, who was killed in an American drone strike during Trump's first term. The FBI learned of the latest plot from the very man asked to arrange it. The criminal complaint says Shakiri spoke voluntarily from Tehran.
I received a phone call from the FBI
telling the FBI he was first instructed to target Iranian-American writer and activist Mahsa Ahmadinejad. Prosecutors said he recruited 2 Americans he met in a New York prison to assist. Tonight, those men are under arrest and in custody. The complaint says Iran also told Shakiri to kill 2 people described as Jewish business people residing in New York City because of their support for Israel. Then he was told to put aside his other efforts and focus on Trump. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
And our thanks to Aaron Katursky for that. The news about the alleged assassination plot comes as the Trump transition picks up speed. The president-elect already reaching out to world leaders as his administration begins to take shape. ABC's White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks joins us now from Washington with more. Mary Alice, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. We have new clues this morning about just how much power and sway the richest man on earth, Elon Musk, might have in a future Trump administration. Sources telling us that he has been right there as Trump has talked to foreign leaders on the phone since his election win.
Elon Musk!
ABC News learning that tech mogul Elon Musk has been on calls that President-elect Trump has had with foreign leaders from Mar-a-Lago the last few days. Sources telling ABC Musk listening in as Trump took one of the most high-profile calls with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. At one point, speaking to Zelensky himself. On the campaign trail, Trump suggesting he would cut U.S. support for Ukraine and bring about an immediate end to the conflict, perhaps by pressuring Ukraine to surrender territory under Russian control. Ukraine has relied on Musk's Starlink system for communications during its war with Russia, Zelensky thanking Musk for that. And according to our sources, Musk also there while Trump took another call from Turkish President Erdogan.
He's a character, he's a special guy, he's a super genius.
Musk pumped about $175 million into Trump's election bid. He has proposed running a new Department of Government Efficiency. But the phone call with Zelensky raising questions about the scope of his potential role in Trump's White House. His company SpaceX currently receives billions of dollars in federal government contracts. This while Vice President Harris's former running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, publicly addressed the election results for the first time, urging the country to come together.
About 1.5 million of our fellow Minnesotans voted for the other side in this election. And while there might not be a place in our state for the most extreme elements of that agenda, there should be a place in our politics for everyone to be heard.
Democrats picking up the pieces and pointing fingers at each other. Former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi telling the New York Times she thinks the party would have benefited from President Biden dropping out earlier and holding a primary, saying there may have been other candidates in the race. The anticipation was that if the president were to step aside, there would be an open primary.
Now, Nancy Pelosi going on to say that she thinks Vice President Harris would have done well in a hypothetical Democratic primary, that it would have helped her too. But of course, there was not one. Democrats all now just looking back, trying to figure out what went wrong.
Yeah, and there's just such a tight time frame there as well. And Mary Alice, while we have you, there's also a new development in one of the cases against Trump.
Yeah, Special Counsel Jack Smith asked the D.C. judge to pause all upcoming deadlines in his case about Trump's effort to subvert the 2020 election results, noting that Trump is now the president-elect and saying that the government needed time to assess this unprecedented circumstance. The judge in the case agreed to that pause with.
All right, Mary Alice, thank you. Janae?
All right, well, now to the urgent investigation spanning more than a dozen states after racist text messages were sent to unsuspecting residents just a day after the election. ABC's Ike Ajachi is here now with the latest. Ike, good morning. This was really stunning to a lot of people.
It really was, Janae. Good morning. Federal law enforcement officers say they have an idea about where the text may have originated. Exactly who sent them, well, that remains a mystery. This morning, federal investigators are saying some of those vile and racist spam messages found on the phones of black and brown people across the country just one day after the results of the election can be traced back to a VPN in Poland and may contain malware.
We want to make sure that we stop it as soon as possible, and we're going to continue to investigate it to see if we can identify the perpetrator.
The messages sent anonymously were reported in at least 20 states, children and adults from New York to California. In each text, the senders even have the right names, telling people they've been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation, to be ready at a certain time, and be prepared to be searched upon arrival.
I received this text message about 2 hours ago.
And I felt my heart drop down into my stomach, and I was afraid.
35-year-old mom of two, Corinne Freeman, runs a nonprofit in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and says she felt she was being targeted.
Knowing that someone took the time to put my phone number in something to send this type of message is just like, whoa. And that in your dreams is literally the fight of my ancestors saying, you wish. It is not a joke. It is not funny. It is a remnant of some form of anti-blackness.
Investigators say the messages appear to be sent through the messaging service TextNow, the company calling the incident a widespread coordinated attack. Now, the company TextNow says it's disabled the anonymous accounts linked to the messages. Attorneys general across the country are condemning these racist messages. The NAACP warning racist groups across the country now feel emboldened to spread hate and stoke the flames of fear that many are feeling after Tuesday's election results. Gio.
All right, Ike, let's hope they get to the bottom of that. Thank you. And in Wisconsin, a 13-year-old Kenosha student has been charged with terroristic threats after being arrested on suspicion of plotting a school shooting. Local police say the teen tried to enter Roosevelt Elementary School on Thursday with a large black bag and reportedly left after being questioned by security. He was later arrested at his home, where officers say they found several airsoft replica handguns and a replica rifle. The suspect allegedly telling a social worker that he went to the school with the intent to scare students.
In New York, lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs making a new bid to try and get the rap mogul released from jail ahead of his May trial. Combs' legal team proposing what they called an extremely substantial comprehensive bail package, including a $50 million bond. 3 previous attempts to get their client released on bond have all been denied. The rapper has been held in Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center since he was arrested in September and charged with racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution.
Well, turning overseas now to the new details we're learning about the violence aimed at Israeli soccer fans in the Netherlands and the reaction in Israel. That's where ABC's Britt Clennett joins us live from Tel Aviv this morning with the very latest. Britt, good morning to you.
Good morning, Janae. Amsterdam now banning demonstrations for 3 days after what authorities described as hateful anti-Semitic violence against Israeli soccer fans.
This morning, emergency measures in Amsterdam following an outbreak of violent attacks on Israeli soccer fans.
Now you know how it feels, sir?
Police launching a major investigation after supporters of Maccabi Tel Aviv were ambushed and beaten in what Amsterdam's mayor described as hit-and-run attacks, condemned by Israeli and Dutch officials as anti-Semitic. Videos circulating online showing a man being chased down. Another video showing someone being attacked in the street and what appears to be the person behind the camera shouting, "That's Gaza," while throwing firecrackers as he attempts to run away. More than 60 people were arrested, 10 of them are still being held. Dozens were injured, several hospitalized with their injuries.
It's a terrible anti-Semitic attack, and we will not tolerate. And we will prosecute the perpetrators. And I'm deeply ashamed that it could happen in the Netherlands in 2024.
Dutch law enforcement officials saying the attacks were sparked by earlier social media posts targeting Jews. But tension had been building for days. Videos showing a man tearing down a Palestinian flag as a nearby crowd chants anti-Arab remarks. Despite a ban on pro-Palestinian demonstrations near the area, protesters showing up anyway, expressing anger over the wars in Gaza and Lebanon. And according to posts online, they were ready for violence.
President Biden condemning those attacks as despicable. There was already a rise in anti-Semitism in Europe. Since the war in Gaza began, it's only gotten worse. Gio?
All right, Britt, thank you so much for your reporting. And back here at home, the market's soaring on Wall Street following Donald Trump's win. We are seeing record highs right now. ABC's Alexis Christophers is here now to break it all down. Hey, Alexis.
Good morning to you. Stocks had their best week in a year as Wall Street cheered Donald Trump's return to the White House. All three major stock indexes rallied to record highs. We had the Dow and S&P 500 each gaining more than 4.5% for the week. The Nasdaq finished nearly 6% higher. Investors piled their money into banks, Bitcoin, and other crypto-related stocks, industries they believe will benefit the most from Trump's policies, which include lower taxes and less regulation. Now, stocks also got a boost this week from the Fed's quarter-point interest rate cut, its second of the year, as inflation continues to cool off. Those lower rates making it slightly cheaper for Americans to borrow money. But perhaps the biggest winner of the week, Tesla's CEO and Trump supporter Elon Musk. The post-election rally lifting shares of the EV maker, valuing Tesla now at over $1 trillion. The market's momentum will be tested next week. We get more earnings reports and fresh numbers on retail sales and inflation. Guys.
All right, Alexis, thank you so much. Let's turn now, get another check of the weather, go back to Samara, and we're going to Las Vegas, but the other Vegas here. Big snowstorms happening.
Yes, this is in New Mexico, okay? They saw 31.7 inches of snow, beating their all-time record set back in 1958 of 27 inches of snow. So Old Man Winter making an early appearance. You can see the heavy snow still falling in parts of Colorado. Now, I will say this storm system is going to begin to taper off as we head through the afternoon. Denver winter storm warning still in effect. Now, the southern tier of the same storm system is bringing heavy rain to places like Arkansas, Missouri, Louisiana, and that's Tropical Storm Raphael. That's feeding into this, so it's only enhancing and exacerbating the situation. As a result, high risk for flash flooding in central Louisiana, and we could see anywhere from 2 to 4 inches, but some spots could see 8 inches or more of rain. So you guys, they're dealing with snow out here. It was so warm this weekend, though. I mean, this past week, right?
It was. Really, you said something about Old Man Winter and wit.
She looked right at me.
That is, you had a guilty conscience. I wasn't even thinking it, but thank you.
Here we go.
Thank you, Samara.
We do have a passing to note this morning. Hollywood is remembering actor Tony Todd. Todd starred in more than 100 movies and television shows, including the Candyman and Final Destination horror franchises. New Line Cinema, which produced the Final Destination franchise, wrote on Instagram, "The industry has lost a legend. We have lost a cherished friend. Rest in peace, Tony." Todd's wife telling The Hollywood Reporter that he died Wednesday at their home in Marina del Rey after a long illness. Tony Todd was 69. I love Final Destination. He was so talented. Candyman.
I couldn't sleep for weeks.
Same. That is the one.
Me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man.
What a talent will be missed.
Absolutely.
All right, we got more ahead here coming up on GMA, including College Game Day Week 11. ESPN's Desmond Howard joins us from Baton Rouge as LSU hosts Alabama to size the teams up.
Ooh, and Princess Kate back in the public eye this weekend. The latest on the events she's scheduled to attend following her cancer battle.
Plus, our Grammy nominations round up. Who is in the running to take home music's biggest prize? Stick around. You're watching Good Morning America on a Saturday morning. Just That's a timeless song. Welcome back to GMA on this Saturday morning. The nominations for the 67th Annual Grammy Awards are in. Beyoncé receiving the most nods.
Wait.
What?
Uh-oh.
You know, she literally stops the broadcast. 11 nominations, making history. She is now the most Grammy-nominated artist in history, surpassing her husband, Jay-Z. The two had been tied with 88 nominations each. So coming up, Will Gans is going to have more on who's looking forward to the big night and who got shut out. We're going to look at that.
Yeah.
In case
anything else you want to say?
Yeah. Anything more thoughts?
That was fun.
Yeah, we know who you're rooting for and all that.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other big stories that we're following on this Saturday morning. Happening right now, growing concern over China's efforts to hack prominent Americans, including President-elect Trump. Sources tell ABC News that U.S. law enforcement and intelligence officials think that Chinese hackers were likely spying on prominent Americans for more than a year before they were discovered. Authorities worry that this latest breach may signal a significant increase in China's ability to conduct surveillance on the American people.
Also right now, an SUV loaded with dangerous materials exploding and severely damaging 5 homes and several cars in a New York City neighborhood. The SUV's owner is a plumber who says he had pressurized cylinders in the car, and one of them may have been leaking. Luckily, though, no one was hurt.
Thank goodness. And for the first time after that devastating fire 5 years ago, listen to those bells. The bells of Notre Dame were heard through Paris again. The landmark is set to reopen to the public next month with a weekend of ceremonies starting December 7th. It's good to see that.
Yeah, inspiring work they're doing. And we start this half hour with a busy day in college football and ESPN's College Game Day, coming to you from Baton Rouge, Louisiana this morning. Joining us from there, ESPN football analyst Desmond Howard. Desmond, good morning to you. We see the crowd's already fired up. So we know we got Alabama visiting LSU tonight. Both teams have 2 losses on the season. What's at stake in this game?
Yeah, because you said both teams have 2 losses, and what's at stake is the CFP, the college football playoff. I mean, this game has all type of CFP implications because both teams with the loss. Now, you're looking at an LSU team, even though they have 2 losses, one was against USC, which is an out-of-conference loss. So I think now they only have 1 loss. They still have hopes of making the CFP. Big game tonight against Alabama. Even besides that, though, guys, like I spoke to Heisman Trophy winner Jaden Daniels, who was the quarterback last year at LSU. He said, Desmond, this is the game by which you are measured as an individual and as a team. And you always know that there are a bunch of eyes on you. And not just regular eyes. We're talking about NFL scouts, coaches, and GMs. So this is a big game as far as the CFP is concerned, but even beyond that.
What kind of eyes do NFL coaches and GMs have if they don't have regular eyes, Desmond? They have special eyes?
They got the eyes that can get you paid.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Cha-ching. All right, Desmond. Number 3, Georgia visits number 16, Ole Miss tomorrow. What's the biggest key in that one?
I think the biggest key in this game is you're looking at Georgia. This is a team that people have had, ranked very high at the beginning of the season because of the return of their quarterback, Carson Beck. But guys, in the last 5 games, he's turned the ball over 12 times, 11 interceptions, and 1 lost fumble. And he's going up against an Ole Miss team that I know when you hear Ole Miss, you think Lane Kiffin, Jackson Dart, an explosive offense. But they're exceptional on defense, especially their front 7. They lead the FBS with 42 sacks. And try this on for size. They've recorded 18 sacks in the last 2 games. So this is going to be an interesting matchup when you watch Georgia's front against the defensive front 7 of Ole Miss. And I have to say, guys, listen, I really missed you guys last week. I'm glad that we're back in step this morning.
Oh, we are glad to have you back, Des. Hey, the first edition of the college football playoff rankings, they just came out. So anything surprise you?
Well, I have to say that the first rankings, there were no big surprises like, well, why is this team ranked above that team? But what you have to remember is like when you look at the rankings right there, you look at where teams are, the rankings are going to be a little bit different than the actual seedings, and that's what we have to keep drilling into the heads of our fans. So even though these teams are ranked where they are right now, that's not going to be how they're going to be seeded at the end of the year. But there's a lot of football left, a lot of, like I said, CFP implications this week, next week. So the beautiful thing about it is that there's so many teams now, not only teams, but fan bases with hope of making the CFP.
Des, those fans behind you are way too quiet. Tell them what show they're on.
Hey, you guys know this is GMA, right? Can we get GMA? GMA? GMA?
Oh, look at that crowd. Oh, man. Des, we love you. We love ESPN.
Yeah, we are happy now, yeah.
We thank you so much for that, my man. Tune in for Florida at Texas at noon, followed by Georgia at Ole Miss at 3:30. Then it's Alabama at LSU at 7:30 Eastern. All of it right here on ABC and ESPN+.
Always a good time with Des.
We learned a lot right there. The eyes that get you paid. Those
there
are
you go.
Yep. Look into that.
All right, let's get another check. What?
Are those eyes watching us?
Let's get another check of the weather. Samara, save us over here.
Yo, that was hilarious. All right, so check out this video. This is 10,000 feet over the Gulf of Mexico. Look how serene and beautiful it is. Would you believe that this is a hurricane hunter's plane flying, picking up data on what was brewing just underneath there? Hurricane Rafael, now a tropical storm. This is the satellite imagery. Winds 65 miles per hour, gusts 75 miles per hour. Here's the thing. We are not looking at a landfall here in the U.S. If you notice the track there, it actually starts to decay and die down, and it moves back towards Mexico. But we are picking up some impacts. We had the secondary impact of heavy rain leading to flooding in Louisiana, but there's also a significant threat for rip currents, life-threatening rip currents with waves up to 7 feet from Galveston to Panama City.
What may be another positive sign about the health of Princess Kate and her cancer battle. She's scheduled to make her first appearance at a major ceremonial event since she announced back in September that she finished chemotherapy. In a video message, take a look.
Although I have finished chemotherapy, my path to healing and full recovery is long, and I must continue to take each day as it comes. I am, however, looking forward to being back at work and undertaking a few more public engagements in the coming months when I can.
So to talk more about this is ABC News royal contributor Victoria Murphy joining us from London. Victoria, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Princess Kate's appearances, they've been few and far between, including one last month. We heard from Prince William this week saying that this past year was just brutal. But with this news that Kate will be out and about this weekend, are things really turning a corner here?
Hello, good morning, guys. Well, yes, I think they are. It has been an incredibly difficult time, as Prince William's very moving words this week showed, but it does now feel that things are looking a lot more positive. I think the fact that William was happy to travel to South Africa, the fact that he was very positive and upbeat on that visit, and the fact that he was even taking questions from journalists about how things are going, that is very different to the mood that we had just a few months ago. And also, Kensington Palace had always said that they hoped that the Princess of Wales would be able to attend remembrance events this weekend, but it wasn't until yesterday that they confirmed that she will be at the Cenotaph tomorrow. But not only that, guys, she's going to be at the Festival of Remembrance this evening. And now that is not a short engagement, that is several hours in the public eye. So I think it's a very positive sign that she's going to be there tonight, that she clearly feels well enough to do these two engagements.
A very positive sign. Why the back-to-back remembrances? Why, come out so much so soon?
Well, guys, I really think that it is all about emphasising the importance of remembrance and the importance of the royal family's role within remembrance. This is really the most important weekend of the year for them. This is when the royal family leads our nation in honouring and remembering our war dead. And this is something that they absolutely do not want to miss. It's so important symbolically. You may remember that the late Queen Elizabeth never missed remembrance up until the end of her reign, when she was really unable to. And I think it's very much the same for Kate. She absolutely was always going to be here unless she really wasn't able to.
All right, thank you so much. We also should point out that we've just learned from the palace that the Queen will miss remembrance events this weekend to ensure that she makes a full recovery from a chest infection and to protect others from any potential risk. Thank you again, Victoria.
Now on GMA, with the newly announced nominations for the Grammy Awards, and Will Gans, who ran a marathon since we last saw him, is here with the contenders looking for glory on music's biggest night. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Janae. Yeah, I'm keeping some pretty good company over here. Once again, the Grammy Awards are shaping up to be ladies' night with huge nominations for Taylor Swift, Charlie XCX, and a real up-and-comer named Beyoncé. Not only does she have more nominations than anyone else this year with recognitions in the country, pop, and overall categories, she's also the most recognized artist ever at the Grammys with 99 career nominations.
This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold 'em.
Maybe not Texas, but Beyoncé's feeling right at home at this year's Grammys.
So sweet. I give you kisses in the backseat.
Queen Bee is the most nominated artist of the year with 11 nods, making Cowboy Carter the most nominated album ever, a record previously held by Michael Jackson's Thriller. Beyoncé has notoriously never won the coveted Album of the Year trophy, but could Cowboy Carter change all of that? Or will she be seeing green thanks to Brat? Charlie XCX's Lean Green Brat Machine picking up 7 nominations, tied among others with Kendrick Lamar.
They not like us. They not like us.
Kendrick set to headline the Super Bowl 1 week after his diss track Not Like Us could win Song or Record of the Year, but he's got some highly caffeinated competition. All that espresso paying off for Sabrina Carpenter, nominated for 6 Grammys, including Best New Artist and Record Song and Album of the Year, sharing her reaction to the news from her tour bus. But as a wise man once said,
You guys, you have to start paying attention to Chappell, Roan. The up-and-coming pop star is on a trajectory unlike anything we've seen since early Lady Gaga.
The Grammys celebrating the year's biggest breakout star, Chappell Roan, also up for all 4 of the night's biggest categories. No new nominees in the rock categories thanks to familiar favorites like the Rolling Stones, Pearl Jam, and Green Day. And in the Latin pop category, superstars like Shakira, Anita, and Kali Uchis will go head-to-head. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift, currently tied for most Album of the Year wins, is now also the most nominated woman in the category, thanks to her 7th nod for the Tortured Poets Department.
And 100-year-old President Jimmy Carter is up for his 10th Grammy, you guys, for Best Spoken Word Album for Last Sundays in Plains, a centennial celebration. The Grammys will air Sunday, February 2nd. And if you think a few names were noticeably absent from that piece, you might be right. We'll have some of the snubs and surprises in our second hour.
Did you just call yourself a wise man?
Once said.
Someone had to say it, and it might as well be me.
Sure, we'll agree with that.
Amen. You take it, Will. We're so proud of you.
We're very proud of you.
Marathon.
And we'll see you in pop news coming up.
All right.
Now with our play of the day and the big reveals from Disney D23, Brazil, the crowds. Yes.
Yeah, that's
right.
Cool.
Get into it. Look at the crowds. They couldn't wait to hear about what's in store as Disney Live Action, Pixar, and Walt Disney Animation Studios shared exclusive footage and new trailers. The crowd caught a glimpse of the fan favorite fugitive alien from Disney's much anticipated feature Lilo and Stitch, the live action reimagining.
Which you're very excited about.
Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride is one of my favorite Disney songs. Classic. Disney also confirming that a new Ice Age film is
and that Mufasa film.
Yes.
Remember Bob Iger was telling us about the notes he took?
So good.
Watching it.
Good morning, America. It's our second hour. This morning, treacherous weather from coast to coast. Thousands of people flee the flames in Southern California, while in Colorado and New Mexico, blizzard-like conditions. An early winter storm sweeping through with massive snowfall.
Time to cash in on your holiday shopping. How to score savings from thousands of retailers. We have the top sales to look out for.
'Tis the season of seasonal gigs, and GMA is on the job. Tips to landing the role you want, from your dream career to holiday jobs, and how AI can help you do it.
Dishing up some fall comfort meals with a social media food star and your Greek food bestie that are good and good for you.
And the Grammy nominations are here. So we're making sure you're ready to go for music's biggest night, breaking down all the snubs and surprises and how the Beatles scored a nomination. As we say, good morning, America.
It's Saturday morning. This is GMA.
Good morning, everybody. It's a hot minute right here on this GMA Saturday morning. We love it. All right, this morning, well, some of us more than others. This morning, no need to wait for Thanksgiving. We will discuss the retailers already out with their Black Friday deals. Ooh. Christmas just around the corner, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Straight from Halloween to Christmas.
There you go. And there's deals and steals. We got a lot of things coming up. Also, the Trump transition is kicking into high gear with the new administration beginning to take shape. The president-elect already reaching out to world leaders, including Ukraine's President Zelensky, billionaire Elon Musk joining that conversation.
Yeah, but we do begin here with the wild weather out west, including that early season snowstorm with blizzard-like conditions. Look at that in Colorado and New Mexico, and that massive wildfire raging in Southern California right now. Let's go back to ABC's Jacqueline Lee in Camarillo, California with the latest again. Good morning, Jacqueline, to you.
Gio, good morning. It is heartbreaking. So many homeowners returning to see there is nothing left. We are outside of what used to be a garage, and it burned so hot inside we can barely tell what items are in there. But back there, that is a melted refrigerator. Firefighters working around the clock to get this fire contained. This morning, the ferocious mountain fire scorching Ventura County. Flames spreading across more than 20,000 acres. Nearly 3,000 firefighters battling the blaze, with 14% contained.
I'm not built for this at all. I was crying. It was pathetic.
More than 200 structures charred beyond recognition.
I can't believe it's gone. I don't even know what to say right now. This is surreal. I mean, I know we live in a fire danger area, but this is not, it came out of nowhere. It was so fast.
More than 14,000 residents remain under evacuation orders and at least 6 people injured.
That's like my childhood home. It's where we got married.
Officials say it only takes one ember and a wind gust for a fire to tear through and destroy one home while leaving another one completely untouched. Firefighters warning the threat is not over.
Make sure your car is full of gas and, ready to go at a moment's notice, because fire is just a fact of life here.
The hurricane-force Santa Ana winds seen as further fuel for these wildfires as extreme weather slams the west. In Colorado, a state of emergency is in effect as more than 2 feet of snow has fallen, blanketing cities like Denver and Colorado Springs. While in New Mexico, up to 40 inches of snow, causing widespread power outages, closing roads and shutting down schools as officials call a storm this early in the season unprecedented. And firefighters are taking advantage of the light wind conditions to try to contain this fire. Moderate Santa Ana winds are expected to pick up next week. Janae.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you for that. Now let's bring in meteorologist Samara Theodore. And Samara, not only does the West Coast dealing with the wildfires, but here on the East Coast in Jersey, we are too.
Smelling it, right?
Yeah.
You smell that burning. So take a look. This is in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey. You're seeing helicopters dumping waters with the New York City skyline in the background. Not only in New Jersey, but in Reading, Pennsylvania, this line of fire there, that has been burning since yesterday. Now, currently, 52% of the country is in drought. Now, this time last year, only 37% were in drought. We have breezy, dry conditions, very low relative humidity with high wind gusts, and that is leading to an elevated fire danger as we head through this afternoon in the Northeast. Whit.
All right, Samara, thank you. We'll check back in just a bit. The president-elect already reaching out to world leaders as his administration begins to take shape. ABC's White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks joins us now from Washington with the latest. Mary Alice, good morning.
Well, good morning. Yeah, ABC News learning that tech mogul Elon Musk has been right there with President-elect Trump as he has talked to some of those foreign leaders since his election win, including during one of the most high-profile calls with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. At one point, Trump handing Musk the phone and Musk talking to Zelensky himself. On the campaign trail, of course, Trump suggesting that he would cut off U.S. support to Ukraine. We're told by our sources that on that call, Zelensky did thank Musk for his Starlink communication system that Ukraine has relied on. Amazon. Like, big picture, we know that Musk, the richest man on earth, pumped around $175 million into Trump's election bid and campaigned with him. He's proposed running a new Department of Government Efficiency, but that phone call with Zelensky definitely raising questions about the scope of his potential role in Trump's White House. His company currently receives billions of dollars in federal government contracts. And Democrats playing the blame game. Former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi telling the New York Times, basically, she thinks President Biden should have dropped out of the race earlier. Gio?
All right, Mary Alice, thank you so much. And Seattle police have arrested a man suspected of stabbing 9 people over the last 2 days. Authorities calling the assaults random. They say witnesses led them to the suspect after he stabbed 5 victims within a 4-block radius in Seattle's Chinatown district on Friday. At least 4 of the victims have been hospitalized. Janae?
All right, and here in New York City, a man is facing charges for allegedly staging a car crash as part of an insurance fraud scheme. You may have seen this video. It went viral. Michael Martinez faces up to 7 years in prison if convicted. He's accused of cutting off another driver, forcing the driver to stop, and then reversing into the victim's car. It was all caught on dash cam. Has since gone viral. You did the story on GMA when this first happened, right? Yes.
Really incredible. Coming up here on GMA, early Black Friday deals you don't want to miss.
Right. Also this morning, tips to land the job you want. From nailing your interview to building your resume, a career expert joins us live.
And you're going to need that job because the countdown to Thanksgiving is on, and we've got the savings. Tori Johnson is here with the deals and steals for holiday hosting. And Will is here with some pop news. Hey, Will.
Hey, guys. Yeah, it's safe to say that this morning, it's lit. What a way to start a Saturday. Then with a newly released Whitney Houston song, I'll tell you all about it and more coming up on GMA, the gift that keeps on giving.
And welcome back with our GMA cover story, the biggest deals just in time for holiday shopping season. Alexis Christoforous is here, breaking it all down for us. Alexis, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Don't want to scare you, but we have 46 days to go until Christmas. So we have rounded up some of the best early deals to help you shop smarter and save a little money. Amazon has launched its first wave of early Black Friday deals this weekend. Everything from beauty to kitchen gadgets on sale, plus stocking stuffers for under $10. New this year, Target's 3-day early Black Friday sale ends tonight, but Target is still dropping a deal a day now through Christmas Eve, and Kohl's early Black Friday deals running through tomorrow, where you can also earn $15 in Kohl's cash for every $50 you spend. And speaking of cash, the shopping app Retail Me Not is in the final day of its annual cashback deals event. So some popular deals include up to 12% cash back at Macy's, up to 20% cash back on tech at Samsung. UGG is offering up to 14% back. And if you're doing a little gift buying for your furry friends, you can get 20% cash back at Chewy. Now, this cash back is on top of any other discounts a retailer may be offering, so those savings can really add up fast. And here's how you can do it. You can sign up for a free Retail Me Not account. For a limited time, by the way, new members can get an extra $5 in their wallet, so that's a good deal. Once you're on the Retail Me Not website, you can choose the cashback deals you're interested in. You are then directed to that retailer's website, where you can then shop as usual. Your cashback rewards will show up in your Retail Me Not account in just a few weeks, but got to move quickly on this. These Retail Me Not cashback deals are live through 11:59 tonight. And then you know what happens, guys? They turn into a pumpkin. Of course.
Oh, cute.
I still
just
have
in time for
pumpkins
Thanksgiving, at least.
Alexis, it was A for effort, girl. A for, you know it. You tried, though. Thank you, Alexis.
Love
it
it.
was so sweet that Gio was like, oh, cute. All right, time now for Pop News. Will.
Yeah, you guys, good morning. Before I turn into a pumpkin, let's get into some pop news with the snubs and surprises from this year's Grammy Award nominations. Of course, Beyoncé, Chappell, Roan, Charlie XCX, and Sabrina Carpenter all picked up major nominations. But get this, so did the Beatles. The Fab Four nominated this year for Record of the Year. And their song, Now and Then, marks the first time a song created with AI is up for a Grammy.
That's going to have people talking.
It sure will. Yep. Taylor Swift, by the way, up for 6 awards, but her collaborator, Jack Antonoff, shut out of the Producer of the Year category despite having won that award for the last 3 years in a row. So that's pretty interesting. Also in Snub City this year, Dua Lipa earning 0 nominations, I know, for her album Radical Optimism. And Ariana Grande, who didn't get recognized in any of the big 4 categories. Whit, you'll be surprised to know that A Bar Song by Shabuzi was not nominated for Record of the Year, but don't worry, it is up for Song of the Year, and Shabuzi is up for Best New Artist.
Were you going to say something about the AI and the Beatles?
Well, yeah, the AI thing, I mean, like, I'm a huge fan of the Beatles, but the AI thing is, I don't know. It feels like it needs a separate category.
That is probably where
it doesn't
future
feel
is
right.
headed.
I don't know.
But if anyone's going to break a boundary with, a Grammy nomination, might as well be.
There you go.
Hot takes on a Saturday morning from Whit.
There you go. That's why I show up to work every day. Whit's hot takes.
There you go.
Glad you're delivering. All right.
Sometimes they're hotter than others.
From the best of 2024 to the best of all time, we have some brand new music from Whitney Houston. Her estate releasing a new album featuring live performances from the Concert for a New South Africa, including the never before released single Love Is. Take a listen.
Oh, I work against the grain. You've tried so hard to grow. Why should we work in vain when in your heart?
They don't call her the voice for nothing.
I mean, how we missed that voice, right?
Incredible. Yeah. This new song, along with the entire album celebrating the 30-year anniversary of Whitney's historic visit to South Africa, is available to stream now. Growing up, my favorite movie of all time was The Bodyguard.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. I'll take as much Whitney as we can get.
But she's got a great name, too. She's got a great name.
Whitney.
Yeah.
That is, but you weren't named after.
No, everybody called me Whitney Houston, though, in high school. Which was
I just want people to notice it always goes back to him.
No.
As it should sometimes.
Yes.
As it should sometimes.
Yes. You are.
All right.
You are our everything.
Finally, you guys, an update on Henry Hinson, the Taylor Swift superfan who went crazy viral for his Halloween costume as a backup dancer on the Eras Tour. After being unable to snag a handicapped ticket to her concert tour, Taylor's team surprised Henry with tickets to Indianapolis last weekend. The 11-year-old was launched into his superstar era, trading bracelets, posing for photos with fellow Swifties, and he even got a visit from Taylor's mom, Andrea.
Gave lots of hugs. Yeah. We gave her a gift too.
Yeah, a bracelet that says Henry's version.
And she loved it. She laughed.
Loved it, yeah. They also got some cool merch from Andrea, and then the show continued. Henry's favorite part of the show, Bad Blood. Mom's favorite part, sharing Henry's light with the rest of us.
Oh,
that is
beautiful.
Amazing.
And that's another good name, Andrea.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
See,
Pop News
as Gio continues at bringing back my wife's name is Andrea.
We do love Andrea, too. Will, thank you so much. Now let's go over to Samara for another check of the weather.
Yeah, we're going to make it all about me over here. No, guys, all right, so let's take a look. So here's Colorado Springs, Colorado. Look at that. Visibility completely diminished. You know, they saw around a foot of snow. Really treacherous driving conditions out there, all because of this storm system that is still prompting winter storm warnings for places like Denver today. By this afternoon, though, we should start to see the snow really tapering off. So that's the good news there. The southern tier of the system, though, bringing heavy rain to places like Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Tropical storm Raphael is also feeding moisture in. What does this mean? This means places like Louisiana are at a high risk for flash flooding. We could see 2 to 4 inches of rain. Some spots could get as much as 8 inches.
All right, you know what it's time for. Deals and steals with Thanksgiving less than 3 weeks away and the winter holidays around the corner. Tori Johnson is right here with some incredible products for hosting loved ones. Hey, Tori.
Hello. Okay, so
let's
we're starting
talk
with
baking.
something. Yes, if you bake, you will want this because these are both the FlexiPan and Silpat baking molds as well as the non-slip baking sheets. And what's awesome about these is effortless release. So you know how when your food is in the oven baking and you're just praying that it comes out looking like it's supposed to look, like the pictures look?
Right.
That's what you get with these because there's no struggle in getting it out. You don't need any oil. It's literally everything pops out. Effortless release is the best way that I can say.
Also.
Hearts. Look at this cake one. I love that cake mold because
it's a big star.
Almost impossible when there's always a side, a point that breaks. There's always something that goes wrong. Not with these. These are phenomenal. They were they're created originally for just chefs that have been using them for 6 decades. They're made in France. These are not the cheapo knockoff.
Oh, very fancy.
And now they're available for home bakers. and up to 65% off for you today, starting at $9.
That's amazing.
Really good.
Okay, so let's sharpen some knives.
Knives. Everyone wants a sharp knife. So a dull knife's no good. So we've got one right here for you to show just how easy it is from any sharp.
And by the way, this is actually the first time I've ever sharpened a knife.
Exactly. So you're going to put it right there, and it's that easy.
That's it.
So
That's done.
these suction to your counter, and so you get to keep your fingers away because it suctions very easily. It works with serrated and non-serrated. So all the knives that you've got in the kitchen, plus we've got these really great, they've got these nice little 5-piece cheese board sets. These also make really great stocking stuffers because everyone can use a knife sharpener. Everything Slash and Half starts at $7.
Brilliant. All right, let's go to the grill.
All right, so bear paws. I've got 2 of them right here for you, and you're going to see they're unbelievably sharp, and so they're designed for your testing.
Sure are.
You don't believe me? You're testing. But here's what's great. You see how easy it is for you to hold them, so that you're not going to struggle with utensils. So if you wanted to shred pork, if you needed to take meat off a bone, you could just do it right with that. It's got that great grip, and then we also have their poultry shears that are fabulous. What I love about these is they will literally cut anything off the bone. This is so super sharp as well. So if you've got if you're cutting up an entire turkey or cutting up an entire chicken, you want to have these. $6.50 to $8 with our deal on all of these.
All right,
really
good deal.
Price. And these are like also essential.
Oh my gosh, totally essential. Okay, so you always have the best towels.
Yes, these are great from Rock Flower Paper. First of all, they're really pretty, but it's not just about looking beautiful in the kitchen. Super absorbent. Each of them are made from 5
And you can feel that.
Yes, 5 recycled plastic bottles goes into making each of these, so there's that eco benefit too. And then it's just a perfect paper towel replacement. So instead of wasting paper towels, especially when you're doing so much holiday cooking, these are a great alternative.
And you can wash these?
You can wash them. They're durable, fabulous. They start at $9 and free shipping.
We love that free shipping.
Okay, Road, you are admiring.
I was looking at these.
These are great. So we've got a couple of options. The coolers are fabulous.
I mean, this cooler is legit.
It's so good. It's insulated, but then it's also soft on the outside, so it's not so heavy to carry. It's got either shoulder straps or the big, you can either use it by hand or with the shoulder strap. It's going to make sure that either hot or cold foods or beverages are going to stay that temperature on the go. Then we also have all of their fabulous tumblers, can coolers. We've got this big one. I think we've got 18 to 64 ounce. Those just feel good in your hand, and they
sure
look so sleek. Most importantly, they'll keep your beverages hot or cold. Everything Slash and Half.
Wait, this is so cool. I just want to show this. Can we show this? This actually has the lid so that you could drink, but you could also do it for the straw.
That's right. So it's not going to spill in the car. You discover something new all the time. Okay. So you have a remote. How about a Tremote? So you could press the bottom button. So if you've got your
turn it off.
Turn it off. Turn it on.
Turn it on,
And that's so fun, right?
Turn it on.
So if you want an easy way to be able to control your lights from any distance, you simply plug the lights into this. Comes with a battery already, so it's good to go right out of the package. Easiest way to control your lights this season, $11.
Having a remote for the tree is a game changer.
Right?
It really
so you don't have to climb the stairs or get under
do the thing in the back.
Yeah, no more struggling. It's fun.
This
easy.
is awesome.
Exactly.
We never struggle when you bring your stuff. Thank you so much. Tori, we've partnered with these companies.
It's all about wit, though, right? It's not about me. It's all about wit.
Which ones does wit want? We'll find out. And make sure that you check out these companies on these great deals. You can check them out on our website. And you'll also be able to find bonus digital deals right now. That QR code right there on your screen. Look at
Big Advent.
These are all the bonus deals right now, so you can go ahead and check that out with that QR code.
Now, in case you missed it, last weekend, the South Carolina Gamecocks pulled off a major upset over 10th-ranked Texas A&M, but the party really started after that win.
Yes, so the head coach, Shane Beamer, his wife Emily had a birthday the past week. Take a look at how he and the players celebrated. Yeah, the whole team serenaded Emily with the Fantasia Barrino song, When I See You. She's right there in the middle, taking it all in. You know those players love that coach.
And someone else noticed, was Fantasia herself.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Isn't that sweet? The Grammy-winning star sending beautiful congratulatory flowers to Coach Beamer and his team, and of course, to Emily herself. Happy birthday, Emily.
Happy birthday, Emily.
There will be one Lion King. The carry on. We owe that to each other.
We're trapped. What do we do?
Get ready to run!
I never signed up for this.
We have come to rule without mercy.
This was a bad idea!
Not bend to evil. We must fight together.
Nearing destiny, Mufasa.
So the earth must shake.
Stand down. I am highly trained and occasionally effective.
Welcome back to GMA. That's a look at the new trailer for Mufasa. Pretty cool, huh?
I'm really excited to see that. Yeah, the live-action prequel to Disney's mega hit, of course, The Lion King, includes a star-studded cast featuring Beyoncé Knowles Carter, Blue Ivy Carter, Donald Glover, Mads Mikkelsen, Seth Rogen, Billy Eichner. Wow, this list goes on and on. Anika Noni Rose and more. Wow.
Mufasa, The Lion King hits theaters on December 20th.
There you go, winter break plans. Now to some of the other top stories that we're following right now. Treacherous weather from coast to coast. Flames spreading across more than 20,000 acres in Ventura County, California. That fire just 14% contained, with more than 200 structures already destroyed. In the meantime, blizzards are causing chaos in Colorado and New Mexico. Some spots seeing more than 3 feet of snow. In New Mexico, the snow causing widespread power outages, closing roads and shutting down schools.
And the search is still on for 43 monkeys that escaped from a research lab in South Carolina on Wednesday. Authorities say some of the primates have been seen near the facility, but none have been recaptured. Police say there is no public health threat, but warn people to not approach the animals.
That seems like a big problem. And in college football, it's a must-win for both teams tonight as LSU kicks off against Alabama. Both squads going into the game with 2 losses and needing a win. You can catch all the action right here on ABC starting at 7:30 Eastern.
You know, I'll tell you what, you are perceptive. 43 monkeys on the loose, that is a problem.
It is a problem that needs to be handled.
Absolutely.
Yes, hopefully it will be.
Yeah.
All right, the latest, moving on now, the latest poll from the New York Federal Reserve shows 28.4% of respondents are looking for a job. So this morning, GMA is on the job and helping you. We are breaking down tips to landing the role that you really want. So joining us now is career coach Emily Durham, also known as Emily the Recruiter. Emily, good morning to you. It's great to have you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk a little job hunting.
Yes. So that number, first of all, nearly 30% is pretty staggering, and how many people are dissatisfied with where they are. But let's start with these like temporary seasonal jobs. Those are starting to come out right now. What do people need to know if they're interested?
It really is that time of year. So December, January, amazing time for people to start looking for those seasonal jobs. I think what it really comes down to is if you haven't already applied, today's your day. We're going to go home. We're going to start applying for those jobs. We're no longer in a job market where you can apply for something and start 2 weeks later. Like, that's not the world we operate in anymore. So apply quickly. And whether you're looking for full-time, part-time, seasonal, whatever it is, the trick isn't having a perfect resume. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. The trick is getting that resume opened because there is so much competition with that 30% of people looking for work. So what you actually need to do is follow up. Like, that's the secret sauce in this little recipe. So after you apply for that job, I want you in store. Get in there, schmooze, put on your good polo, go say hi. If you've applied to a corporate role, fantastic. Hit LinkedIn. Let's send the recruiter a message. Let them know that you're interested and that you've applied. It's also a good time. Let's phone a friend. Let's ask for referrals. Let's start networking. This job market, in my perspective, is one that is entirely ruled by who you know, not what you know. Whether that's right or wrong, I can't comment on it. I just want y'all to get hired.
It is what
it is. I didn't cook it this way.
I wasn't sure what you meant when you said before that this isn't the kind of job market where you apply and start 2 weeks later, because you mean people are starting sooner than that.
I actually mean they're going to start later.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I'm happy you asked that. So think 4 years ago, right? Like a pre-pandemic world, the job market was hot. You could apply for a job. Oh my gosh, they're like, can you start Monday? By the way, you're gorgeous, you're perfect. Thank you. Let's double your salary. That's not the world we're working in today. Now we have, for the most part, more job seekers than jobs available. Competition's tough. So why won't they throw in that extra round of interviews? No, we're not going to take that negotiation. We're going to go for the first person that says yes. So that process actually extends a little bit longer than we would like it to.
Interesting.
It's a funky world we're living in.
Okay, so what do you recommend for those coming out of high school or college who don't have much work experience? And that's the thing, you need the experience to get the experience, but how do you get it?
Have you seen that meme where it's like the toddler in a construction hat saying, this is when I should have started working? That's how I feel about this. First things first, we've all been there. Stop panicking. There is no need to panic. But I think we really need to fundamentally redesign what experience looks like. Your academic experience, I don't care if that's high school, maybe that's volunteer, maybe that's projects, internships, hopefully paid internships. All of that is legitimate experience. So let's repackage how you sell yourself. Like, I don't want young people walking into interviews saying, oh, by the way, I don't have this. Oh, I'm really smart, but I don't have any experience doing this. Let's stop putting a spotlight on the stuff maybe we're not perfect at. Let's focus on what you have, even if it's unpaid work, that's A-okay. And let's focus on how you're a great learner. And I'll say it all the time, if you're struggling to get noticed, network, network, network. Let's ask for help, ask for feedback, ask for referrals. There is so much amazing information online about how to do that as well.
Like you said, who you know.
It's who you know. All it is a phone call.
And you were talking about how, not everybody has the perfect resume or cover letter. But what about AI? Because I'm sure a lot of people are going to turn to AI and they're going to say, hey, this will just do it for me and it'll create the perfect resume.
Yes, the same way AI maybe shouldn't exclusively be doing your taxes, let's think about your resume in the same light. So AI, I think we first need to start off by saying, assume everybody's using it. Assume the employer, assume you as a job seeker. What does that mean? That means everyone has a good resume. So having a good resume isn't going to be a showstopper anymore. What it means is all of our resumes sound and look the exact same. So how are you actually standing out? Good, unfortunately, isn't good enough. What I recommend doing when it comes to your relationship with AI, use it as a starting point. Let's use that as a template, but we need a human touch. Otherwise, it's not going to work. We actually asked AI, I thought this was really interesting, to put together a generic resume for us. And I was like, show me a generic marketing resume. Couple of things that are interesting. Miss AI loves a buzzword. So they're saying things like digital marketing, data and analytics. Okay, like what does that mean? What do you mean? Digital marketing is a lot of things. Analytics, that's a lot of things.
And if somebody's asking you those questions, you better know the answer.
You better know.
Yeah.
AI also will start putting buzzwords in there where you're like, honey, I'm going to have to Google that as well. I don't know what that means. Data's going to be on there. Great. But you're not telling me what campaigns that 25%
Emily, you are so fantastic, and you break it down so well.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The women driving change in NASCAR, primarily a white male world. Women of color are starting to take up positions of authority within the race car world, hoping to expand opportunities and confident that their time has come. Morgan Norwood joins us with this story. Morgan, I am not a good driver, but these women must be.
Absolutely, Janae, and you love to see it, right? It's no secret that NASCAR has long been a male-dominated sport, as you pointed out. And while it's worked to diversify, women are breaking through on and off the track. So we caught up with the women, creating their own lane and inspiring the next generation to take the wheel.
You might not know her face, but you probably recognize the voice. This is the 2024 NFL Honors Screen Actors Guild Awards. From award ceremonies to TV shows.
Sometimes I actually do the voice back to people and they're like, oh my gosh, that's you, that's you. Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Thursdays at 9, only on E, and catch up anytime. And they're like, whoa, that's crazy.
But this weekend, she's hitting a different note.
Come with me to Phoenix Raceway to voice the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship.
Queen Naveen will be reigning the raceway, dropping into the fast and furious world of NASCAR to guest announce in Phoenix. She's coming back after making her NASCAR debut last year on the same track.
I am actually a NASCAR fan. My family and I used to watch NASCAR growing up. We would have our favorite drivers. We loved Jimmy Johnson. We loved Tony Stewart growing up. So being able to watch them, and then now it's full circle for me to be able to now be a part of NASCAR and announcing these drivers.
For nearly a decade, Queen has been a voice of change. The voiceover industry is one that's historically been dominated by white men.
You don't see or expect to see black females in this position, and we're thriving, we're here, but I really want to reach and show new audiences that we exist and that we are allowed to be in this space and we can do this too.
NASCAR has also been eager to embrace change, taking steps to increase diversity both on the speedway and in the stands.
Now that I'm part of the NASCAR family, it's just such a great space to be in.
One of the people leading the way is the woman who runs the Phoenix Raceway, LaTosha Causey, the first ever black female track president in NASCAR's 76-year history. But it almost didn't happen.
To be honest, I was going to close the door on the opportunity before I even considered it because I wasn't educated enough about NASCAR to know holistically how great NASCAR is and that there is a space for me and I am here for a reason.
But LaTosha is thrilled she made the U-turn.
When you get to know these drivers, you get to know their teams as well as humans and as individuals. Just what they do for the sport is an amazing thing, and I'm just grateful to be part of it.
The Phoenix native says that in order for NASCAR to keep growing, change needs to happen not just behind the wheel.
Obviously, we have Bubba, we have Danny Suarez as well, who's a Cup Series driver. We have young drivers that are coming up, like Raja Caruth, we have Regina Servant. But I think it's a holistic conversation about all of us.
And it was LaTosha who brought Queen on board to announce at NASCAR.
This is the moment you have all been waiting for.
Her voice is so recognizable. And so one of the team members said, we really need a voice like this. She has so much energy.
Please welcome. Both Queen and LaTosha know change doesn't happen overnight, but they're happy to take the wheel in the drive for diversity.
Such a full circle moment for them there. And it's estimated that 40% of NASCAR fans are women, yet there are only 3% that are actual drivers. They have made significant progress over the years. Its Drive for Diversity program aims to provide training and opportunities to women and minorities in the sport. Guys, it is truly all about representation.
That is so cool, Morgan. Thank you so much for bringing us that story. And now let's go back to Samara for another check of the weather. Hey, Samara.
Hey, good morning. Okay, friends, not cows wading through 3 hooves of snow, feet. This is in Rosciata, New Mexico. Oh my goodness, they're so cute, but they're probably so cold, right? This is in Durango, California, Colorado, not too far. Now, they were supposed to wait to open the ski resort here, but the snow came early, so let's get this party started. After 2 feet of snow showed up, they have a bonus weekend there. And, as far as that snow, it's tapering off this afternoon. Still chilly in the low 40s, but by tomorrow, temperatures there should be in the mid to upper 50s.
And we'll be right back with a food influencer cooking up some cozy fall favorites. Stay with us.
All right, now to everyone's Greek food bestie, my new bestie, Maria Katsuyanis Camacho from Food by Maria, and you are here to show us all these tasty things. Good morning.
Absolutely. Kalimera, Gia. How are you doing?
Oh, I love that. Kalimera.
Kalimera means good morning.
I love that.
Good morning
That's
in Greek.
beautiful.
Yes, today we're making a shrimp saganaiki. It's just a Greek orzo pasta bake. It is the simplest meal you can make for yourself on a weeknight dinner. Gio, just take everything here and dump it into this casserole dish. There is no rhyme or reason to this. We're going to add it in, we're going to stir it up, and then it goes into the oven.
No special order to anything. Look at that. I'm already spilling stuff.
You can make a mess in your own kitchen. We don't have anything to worry about.
That's how you do it. That's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No one's watching you at home, honey. And then basically, Gio, when you're done doing that, we're going to add our liquid in. And then from there, once this starts to bake, we pull it out once it's par cooked, and we add our raw shrimp. Shrimp is obviously a really complicated protein, but it's so easy because we just add it in.
I see. So you actually add that in after you've made the pasta itself.
Yeah, so we parboil this in the oven, cook it, bake, and then we add the shrimp in because it cooks quickly, and then we garnish this with some feta and oregano. So add the shrimp in here.
All right.
Just to give you a real idea of how easy this is at home. And then you give it a little stir with that spoon.
And that's it. You're done.
Stir. That goes into bake. And then from here, we're just going to garnish this with some beautiful feta right from Greece and fresh oregano. But all this is totally optional, but I love it for added flavor.
Listen, if you're saying to do it, we should do it.
You absolutely should. We listen to Greek Mommy at home, folks.
Oh, okay. So this is it right here. It's so fresh.
It's so delicious.
It's so
actually, you know what? I should take a bite, but let's make our way on over to
Okay, so what do you have here?
Ikarian stew. It's a beautiful black-eyed pea soup. It's known in the Greek blue zones. There's 4 to 5 known blue zones in the world. Some may argue there's more, but this is inspired by the centenarians of this Greek island. They're known to live to overnight, 100 years old. So they eat an 80% plant-based diet, and this soup is just so beautiful and so easy to put together.
Okay, so what do you do with this?
So that's your sample, but the soup is honestly, the soup is as easy as sauteing. And then you get everything cooked up, you put the lid on, you let it cook, and voila, you're done.
And you're done.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
It's so easy, and it's beautiful. And you'll live to 100.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
That's all you need. That's the special soup. Okay, and what do we have over here?
This is one of my most viral recipes from the Blue Zone series. It's called my baked gnocchi It's like you literally just pop it all in the oven. These are some seasonal ingredients. Take the gnocchi. You don't have to boil it.
Okay.
Pop it on the sheet pan.
And that's it.
You put it in the oven with all these beautiful lentils, tomatoes, egg.
I didn't realize you didn't have to boil gnocchi.
So most people don't know that. And honestly, when I developed the recipe, I didn't know either. But it goes in, it gets crispy on the outside, pillowy on the inside, and then it comes out looking stunning. Once again, we garnish with dill, feta, and some lemon.
Oh,
and you have to try this. It's beautiful.
Gnocchi is my favorite pasta.
It's delicious. Right?
It's so good. So
it's so
fresh.
easy to make. I love
You
it.
are such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love this food. Love you. And you can find these recipes, of course, on our website, goodmorningamerica.com. Look it up and eat up.
And a reminder, everybody.
ABC News Live.
Go ahead.
No, you do it.
ABC News Live Weekend has weekend programming.
I'm in the chair today. It's our streaming channel.
Don't forget me, guys.
Yes, you're there too.
Is there an echo in here?
There is